Good morning to all of you and good afternoon to all of you. Today, we'll be submitting our interim report and recommendation to the Office of the Ombudsman on the alleged current involvement of several DPWH officials and employees in obtaining bribes of unwarranted monetary benefits from flood control projects. We recommend the filing of criminal and administrative charges against the following: former Secretary Manuel Bonoan of the DPWH, former USEC Ms. Maria Catalina Cabral, USEC for Planning and Public-Private Partnership, and former DPWH Secretary Mr. Roberto Bernardo, Undersecretary, as well as Mr. Henry C. Alcantara, District Engineer, Mr. Bryce Erickson D. Hernandez, Assistant District Engineer, Mr. Ernesto C. Galang, Chief Planning and Design, DPWH Bulacan 1st District. Number 4, JPD Mendoza, position Chief Construction Section. Number 5, John Michael E. Ramos, position Project Engineer. Number 6, Ms. Irene D.C. Ontinco, position Engineer 1. Mr. Joshua Blitz S. Rojas, position Engineer 1. Mr. Bernardo P. Villaferte, position Engineer 1. And Mr. Ermir S. Villanueva, the owner of Top Notch Construction. I'd like to introduce to you our two detailed lawyers from the OSG, Attorney Richard Garbel Filasol and Attorney Ryan Patrick Tumagos. They are our new volunteers and detailed from the OSG. At this point, may I just say that our budget process is going on smoothly and it should be approved in the regular course of government business. We look forward to hiring more lawyers and more investigators. We expect a tremendous increase in our work efficiency and output. We feel aggrieved in what has been committed against the monies of the Filipino people. We condemn the white-collar criminality. We condemn the ninja style of manipulating the budget so as to please a few greedy few. We thank you for your message of support. We thank you for your patience. We will relentlessly continue the battle against corruption. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Ang input dito ng mga law, Section 3, Republic Act 3019 or Anti-Graphic Corrupt Practices Act. Article 217 of the Revised Penal Code, Malversation of Public Funds or Property. Article 171 and 172 of the Revised Penal Code, falsification of documents, whether by public officials or private individuals. Presidential Decree 1759 penalizes contractors who violate any material provisions of contracts involving public works, projects of the government, and public officials who allow such violations. The Republic Act 9184 of Government Procurement Reform Act, and the Republic Act 6713 or Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. So yun po yung mga crimes involved na in these cases that were, these referrals that were given to us today. So, okay?
Question, pwede po ba?
Yes.
Sir, ano na po yung magiging proseso po nito? Kasi I understand, Justice, sinabi niyo po kanina na this will be for evaluation. You're just recommending this to the Ombudsman? Ano po sir yung magiging action po ng Ombudsman?
We will go into fact-finding immediately because these are referrals and they may need more documents to be able to for us to be able to file cases for preliminary investigation, because you have to inform the accused of their rights and you have to have the proper allegations drawn in to the mix. So it will undergo PI later on, but we will have fact-finding first to be able to complete whatever may be needed to make sure that we have the cases worth filing in court.
Justice, okay lang po ba sir? Bakit po tayo sir nag-recommend ngayon for evaluation and investigation? Unlike po yung nauna po na diretso na po tayo sa sa PI sana.
So most of our language is the same for further fact finding or for further evaluation. It's just a matter of semantics, I think. That's all.
Justice, pang ilan na po to na pinail po ng ICI dito sa Office of the Ombudsman na simula po nung mag-umpisa po yung trabaho po ng ICI?
I think we have 3 referrals.
Yes. Occasions.
3 occasions of referrals. But we'll be filing more and more in the next weeks and next month. We'll be filing more of these.
If you notice, the ICI is here, but the head of the task force of the DOJ, Yusek Andres, is also present because there's a parallel investigation going on with the task force that we created before the DOJ, which he heads, which Yusek Andres heads, which includes the NBI within their team to conduct fact-finding also and for filing for PI also if the people involved are of salaries grade below 27. But just the same, in their study, the studies being conducted by the DOJ, it appears that there are more people involved higher up the food chain. Meaning to say, cognizable probably by the Sandigan Bayan also. Yun ang mga nangyayari ngayon dito. And of course, you know that former Secretary Babe Singson came from the DPWH and he understands the language perfectly. That's why he was drawn into the picture of the ICI so that the technical knowledge will not be behind. There will be no more learning curve when it comes to the technical knowledge for public works projects. Pero,
Sir, for uniformity lang po and easier language, the recommendations and referrals, can we refer to them as complaints with the Ombudsman, sir?
yes, complaints. And so we just have to evaluate it, the documents, we have to evaluate them to see if there are lacking materials so that if we do preliminary investigation, the information that we pass on to the accused will be complete. It's hard to be building up a case where you're conducting an investigation.
To make the record straight, we cannot make any complaint. We cannot file a complaint under our mandate. We can only refer. So the complaint, the referrals, later on will be sworn to and subscribed to by DPW Secretary Pitch Dison, who will make it a complaint. Thank you.
Ombudsman, dun po sa unang naging dalawa na referral po ng ICI, ano na po yung status po nung unang dalawa na na-file po?
Undergoing PI, no? Undergoing PI. Natanggap na ba yung mga summons natin, mga subpoena? Natanggap na?
Not all, sir.
Not all. Pero marami na tayong, may mga nagpa-file na ng counter affidavits. Yeah, so yun lang, ibubuin lang natin yun. We make sure that the rights are always respected. Yun naman, due process lagi ang ating sinusundan dito. We cannot rush the judgment. Kailangan due process nila.
Sir? Sir? Kasi yung recent cases lang, recent precedent comes to mind, yung PDAF cases. Tapos yung PDAF kasi sir, di ba, talagang ang accountable officer dun sa fund, yung congressman or senador. Kasi allocation mo yon in your position as a member of the Senate and a member of the House of Representatives. Kaso lang, by experience din sir, covering the Sandigan Bayan also and alongside the Ombudsman, laging nagiging ruling, hindi nakakasuhan or na-acquit yung member of the House and member of the Senate dun sa PDAF cases kasi yung actions daw nila recommendatory lang, usually ganon, recommendatory lang, walang direct link, even though yung fund na yun ay allocation yung for their office. Sa flood control kasi, sir, wala na yung ganong wala na yung ganong premise eh. Hindi na talaga yung fund naka-allocate sa DPWH, hindi sa mga members of legislature. Parang, do you think mas mahirap i-prove yung liability nitong mga members of Congress, yung mga politiko sa flood control as compared dun sa PDAF na talagang office, allocation yun ng office mo eh, or not necessarily. Kasi itong fund na to, I understand, sa DPWH po ito nakalagak. Hindi dun sa opisina ng mga members of
Well, yung PDAF kasi, allocated yan to each congressman as a fund that they can use to fund different pet projects, supposedly. I remember, I was a congressman before. Ang concentration namin sa distrito was scholarships and medical assistance. No NGOs, nothing like that. Lahat scholarship, diretso sa PUP or Cavite State University at that time, or diretso sa medical assistance sa mga ospital. Ang nangyari kasi dyan sa PDAF cases, they brought it to the different NGOs which supposedly implemented the projects. How the Sandigan Bayan was able to appreciate the facts is beyond me, because I was not part of the trials. I haven't read the decisions except for 1 or 2 decisions. And we're going to, this is why we're calling the attention of, we called the attention already of Senior Associate Justice Leone, so that we can have a dialogue to make sure that everybody's on the same page when it comes to treating cases. Di ba? Kasi nga, ang kalahati ng judicial system sa kanila eh. Di ba? Justice system natin. Hindi naman kami lang eh. Kasama ang korte. Kaya dapat, on the same page kami kung saan may nagagaling. Yun naman, I will not cast judgment on anybody. Sa akin lang, we just have to belong to the same page. We have to be on the same page when we start trying these cases. Diba? Kasi ano yan eh, what the evidence we present here will be the same evidence they will appreciate. And the witnesses we will present in court will be the same witnesses that will be part of the decision. So that's just, the dialogue just has to happen so that we're on the same page. I think that medyo klaro na yun, di ba?
Sir, mas mahirap ba i-prosecute now given na yung fund ay nasa DPWH?
Actually, may madaling i-prosecute dito, but actually hindi pa mahirap po. Parang pareho lang eh, kasi yung PDAF cases are ghost projects din yan eh. They went to NGOs supposedly with beneficiaries who were fake beneficiaries. Di ba? So nawala yung pera, where it went, it was never explained. Pwede mo mawala ang pera ng ganun-ganun lang kung walang kukuha. Yun lang naman ang tanong dito, di ba? And I think the narrations of the DPWH people, Henry Alcantara, Bryce Hernandez, are more or less complete and very vivid. We saw the pictures on the table, the money on the table. I think 300 billion yun na sa picture na yun, no? Yung ba, nawawala na lang ng parang bulayon para walang managot. Yun lang naman yun eh. I think that we just need a dialogue with them. So I think that on Thursday, Senior Associate Justice Lonen will be with the Sandigan Bayan, and we will be talking to them also. Both, maybe separately, Saj Lonen and the Sandigan Bayan Justices. Kakausapin din namin.
Sir, follow up lang po doon. Sir, gaano katibay na po yung mga ebidensyang inihawak natin o hinahanap pa po natin? Kasi puro testimonial po, most of it. Nababack up naman po ba ito ng mga dokumento, iba pa pong evidence?
Alam nyo, AMLA is not always, will not always tell you the story. Kasi we're a cash economy. Diba? So, we will have to follow a cash trail somehow. And we intend to pursue that.
Ombudsman, considering po yung mga evidences and yung witnesses, kailan may timeline po kayo kung kailan talaga makakasuhan ng Ombudsman itong mga sangkot dito sa mga flood control projects sa Sandigan Bayan?
anong stage tayo ng PI sa
So we're already receiving counter affidavit.
counter affidavit? We're already receiving the counter affidavits. So, let's say we receive the counter affidavits within this week. Next week, we can already have a resolution. The teams, the panels in the PI can already have a resolution. And once the resolution is approved by the panel, it will go to my office, and then instruction for filing already. So, hopefully, kung ngayon ay November 4, by November 11, baka meron na kami na file sa korte. Hopefully, pag nakapasok na yung mga counter affidavits and submitted for resolution. That's Jesse.
How about for the DOJ task force? The DOJ task
On the
Yeah.
part of the Department of Justice and NBI Investigation Task Force, we have already filed 5 cases for preliminary investigation. And the first hearing date is on November 10. So we expect the counter affidavits to be submitted on that day, and most of them have been served already. So, in addition, the approach we're taking is not only with respect to the DPWH officials involved in the misuse of funds. The additional investigation we're doing, together with the help of many whistleblowers, named and unnamed, are the proponents and how they actually receive kickbacks. So this is how different this is from the PDAF, because we're not limiting our investigation to the misuse of funds, but those who benefited from this illegal use of funds. So the kickbacks aspect would point to proponents that could possibly be lawmakers, senators, and congressmen.
Wait, if you could elaborate more, nakita po kay Punuan in this project.
I think I had a discussion earlier with former Secretary Singson and Justice Reyes, and it's some of it can be attributed to gross inexcusable negligence, if I'm not mistaken. Being the Secretary of Public Works, it was his job to make sure that things happen properly. I think that's one of the recommendations, is really to charge with gross inexcusable negligence. The same case that will be filing against, probably understudy now, the Speaker of the House, former Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez.
Sir, can you elaborate yung kay Speaker Martin Romualdez? Ano na po yung proseso natin? Ano na po yung hawak natin kung meron man na ebidensya?
Hindi kasi when we look at the Saldico cases, and the whole pattern that happened, it was really Saldico working with some senators that came up with a final version of the budget. And the plan was laid out there. If fingers do not point to the Speaker, former Speaker, as the leader of the House, he was responsible for the appointment of Saldico. Although Saldico was elected on the floor, everybody knows that it was the Speaker's choice. That's why we have to hold him accountable for that. It's a novel theory. I know we're crossing the boundary of normal legal theory, but we have to stretch it a bit. Kasi nga, the whole government machinery and the Filipino people suffered damages due to the acts of Saldico. And if there's nothing criminal about it, then it's negligence at least. We have to go there. We have to go we have to tread that path already. That nothing is excusable here. At the least, negligence should be charged against those who were responsible for their offices. Ano yan leadership principle yan The buck stops with you.
Sir, meron ba tayong mga ipapatawag na mga tao na involved dun sa investigation naman po of yun nga po, Speaker Romualdez, maybe Saldico, yung mga staff niya, paano po ba natin nakikita yun?
Well, we're trying to locate Gutesa if he's going to go back to testify, but we don't know yet. We're looking at all the narrations as a whole. All the narrations from the beginning of the Senate trials that led to these revelations. All of them will be used in putting up the theory of gross inexcusable negligence. Kasi nga, you're the leader of one house, and the other house is led by Senator Jesus Escudero as Senate President. And then they were able to come up with that budget which included insertions, which included diversions of money from what was supposed to be to what became. So that is, if it's not criminal, then it must be negligence. Then it must be one of them. It cannot be completely, nobody can be completely blameless for that.
Sir, Senator Chis Escudero, paano na po yung investigation sa kanya?
Ongoing, we have statements leading of a money trade leading to him, narrations of fact that are there already. But of course, we want to buttress it with other evidence, which we're looking to right now. Ano nga eh? Pag wala ka makitang AMLA trail, then you have to follow a cash trail, and we will find it.
Sir, sundot na rin namin, Villars naman po kasi the original subpoena of the House was intended for 4 firms. Pero as it turned out, wala doon yung firms na connected sa Villar. As it turned out, it's Motion Trade, not INE. So, kamusta po yung investigation on the Villars?
Let's face it, no. There has been a lot of connivance. Congress, DPWH, even the agencies that were supposed to monitor the fund movements. So definitely there was total connivance, and the fact is that congressmen and senators are told by DPWH kung saan distrito sila pwedeng magbaba with SOP. Napakaliwanag nun. There are favorite district offices where they give very high SOPs, no? And maliwanag na yon sa findings ng ICI. So it's a matter of identifying people who were involved in the connivance that really brought this whole government machinery system total breakdown. The process to us, especially coming from DPWH, is already very clear. Without the role of DPWH officials, hindi mangyayari ito.
At sir, aabot yun hanggang sa mga sekretary.
Maabot na nga eh.
Okay, Secretary Villar, sir.
Lahat. Wherever it leads. Because it did not start the last 2 years. It started way back. Started in tiny bits in 2018. Started to grow. When they perfected the system, it started in tremendous leaps and bounds.
Ano nga, yung sa Villar, we may be putting up a new task force for the River Drive and for the flood control of Las Piñas, Bacoor, Las Piñas area. Kasi andun yung mga lupa na nag-benefit din eh. The landowners also benefited from that. So we have to look at that also. We're forming a new task force for that, just for Villar itself. Yung Zapote River Drive, together with the Bacoor properties that were boundaries on the rivers, no? Dinaanan na river, there were improvements made in that area. That's one thing that has to be looked at. Ano yun eh, pag tigaroon ka, pag dumaan ka ron, alam mo kanilang lupa yun. Nakita mo yung river wall, tanong mo, sino mo gumastos? Gobyerno o sila? Ganun kasimple yun. It's as simple as that. So we will determine that later on. Sa costing ng project na nangyari doon.
By the end of the year, ilan kaya posible ang makasukan natin? Sinasabi kahapon ng DPWH Secretary 60 raw. Kakayanin ba yun? Idea lang ba yun? O sa kayong sitwasyon?
Pwede kumabot ng gano'n. Baka hindi lang eh. In fact, the one question to me earlier this morning, I was with members of the diplomatic corps. Yung isang ambassador, the ambassador of Denmark asked me a question. Do you have the absorptive capacity to file all of these cases? How many people do you have at the Ombudsman and how many cases are there? Sabi ko, wow, it's a good question. Kasi nga, we have 1,400 people here in this office. Kasama na ang Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao offices. And if you look at that, ilan na lawyers natin dito? 400? Roughly 400 lawyers. But if you look at the number of cases and the number of projects, you're looking at more than 1,000 projects na may problema. That's around 3 cases per lawyer only. Pero if you look at it, the volume involved and the court time involved, that's a lot of cases. Pero I think we will manage. And if you look at the staffing pattern of the Office of the Ombudsman, we can accommodate more lawyers here. And a lot of people are applying right now. We're evaluating them already. Kaya yung tanong na, will we be able to deal with this deluge of cases? I think we will. And ang kailangan lang dito, kaya nga kailangan ng dialogue with the Supreme Court and the Sandigan Bayan, is that they should be prepared to adjust their time schedules. Na we might be start trying cases morning and afternoon pagdating ng panahon. So much different from what life is right now. No, halos walang kaso, konting-kaunti ang kaso sa Sandigan Bayan. We expect a deluge of cases. Well into 2026, marami pa ipa-file dyan. Kasi ang dami naman nagre-report pa. I received text messages, pinapa-investigate ko. And some of them turn out to be positive, like Binyan, Laguna. May nag-text lang sa akin. So, pinadetermine ko sa fact finder sa mga tao namin, meron. May problema din. So, we're talking about a lot of cases here. A deluge of cases will happen.
Meron ba tayong mga priority? Kain ba natin yung matataas na opisyal o yung doon mga tayo sa
as they come pero siyempre, yung matataas na opisyal, this was the high-profile cases. They will receive more attention. You will notice it more than the other cases, but actually they're all of the same significance. But the higher your position, the bigger your responsibility. Kaya, tiis na lang. Pag ikaw yung mataas sa gobyerno, ikaw ang nakasuhan, tiis ka. Kasi, hiningi mo yung trabaho, ngayon, managot ka sa trabaho.
Sir,
panagutan mo yun.
Sir, task force lang on years. One question na, why do you need a separate task force for the...
Kasi ano yan it's a complete analysis that you need sa pagdating doon. Kasi yung River Drive alone is a multi-billion peso project or projects na nangyari. That's the River Drive spanning from Bacoor to Muntinlupa yan passing through Las Piñas. Mahaba yan. That's around 11 kilometers yung road. And then, yung perimeter niyan will be Villar property sa marami. North and south of it. North and south boundaries from Muntinlupa to Bacoor. Mayroon talaga. Kaya, kailangan talaga pag-aralan ng specialized group yan. That dedicated. I think that it should be something that it should have been done a long time ago. Pero priority yan.
So do you expect them to cooperate? I mean, the Villares, kasi considering na, of course, sila masyado.
I think they need to. It's not a matter of them wanting to, but they will have to cooperate. Sila rin.
Sir, doon sa Riverbank, on top pa po doon sa ties nila sa mga firms na nakakuha ng...
Yes. Bukod pa yun.
Pero will it...
Kasama na yun sa task force. Yung lahat ng Villar involvement.
Just for scale, just focusing on the 421 ghost projects. Easily 15 can be accused per ghost projects. So bilangin nyo ilan yan.
Yes,
ganun karami.
Ombudsman, just to contribute on the understanding of the deluge of cases, understandably, per district, you can imagine already 15 or 20 people being charged, involved in the illegal process. And you can have possibly 100 projects. Okay, but here comes the important aspect of restitution of the kickbacks. We don't need to prosecute them 100 times for the 100 cases they were involved. Because yung maximum penalty man naman reclusion perpetua, nandun na rin yun But the important aspect here is to get back the kickbacks, the stolen funds from the government. So that will be part of our effort. It cannot be compromised. Kailangan ibalik yung nakaw na pera, ibalik sa kaban ng bayan.
Sir, Zaldico, ano na po yung balak natin sa kanya? Siya po yung kasama sa dapat nagpa-file na po ng counter affidavit, but he is abroad, sir. Ano na po yung next steps natin?
As Biko said, he may lose the chance to fight his case if he will lose by default. Kasi ang rules of court is also applies to people who are upset. You just have to leave it in their last known address.
Sir, next steps po doon, ipapakancel na natin yung passport.
Yes, pag nasa korte na. Pag may warrant na.
And then red notice, sir, possibly? Pag may warrant.
Yes, red notice. Ngayon, blue notice lang.
Yes.
So I'm able to locate him everywhere he is.
Sir, anong intel nyo kung nasan siya ngayon?
I think he moves between Spain and Portugal. he just moves between the two countries, Spain and Portugal.
Sir, kamusta yung investigation niyo po dun sa kanyang parang kanang kamay, yung staff niya, Estrada ba? Or something? Paul something. Ang sabi po ni Senator Marcoleta, siya po ay nasa ibang bansa na rin daw at binabantayan, di umano.
I think that Yusek Andres will be the one to handle that later on.
We continue to get information on names that could possibly be complicit in the transactions, and we're locating them. We will send them subpoenas as necessary for them to participate and give the information on their participation in this illegal activity. Pero gagawin natin yan kasi we need to validate it. Hindi naman pwedeng bawat pangalan na panggitin automatic suspect na. We have to have some corroborative or supportive evidence para isapina na rin natin siya. And we're validating that first. But I think we will proceed to calling them to give their statements.
Ombudsman, maliban po dito sa mga nairekomenda na ng ICI, meron din po mga mangilan-ngilan na individual na nagpapile din po ng mga reklamo na may kinalaman sa mga proyekto sa DPWH. As of now ho ba, may bilang ho ba tayo o may gaano karami itong mga biglang nagpupunta dito sa ombudsman para magreklamo din na may kinalaman sa mga flood control or sa mga...
Marami rin eh. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, text pa lang, pinavalidate na namin eh. Kasi nga, we find it, these texts are coming from people that I know. So, pinapavalidate ko kagad. And then we build up cases. Marami. And people are encouraged to inform us on what they know because we will not waste their time. We will do something about it.
For this specific case mo, sir, yung na-refer po sa inyo ng ICI, may na-establish na rin po bang links yung contractor na si Mervin Villanueva with Senator Joel Villanueva? May nakita na po ba kayo?
No link has been
Sir, sorry.
No links have been established between with Senator Villanueva. None yet. We are still validating and we're hoping that there are more people who will be whistleblowers and give us the right information. The life of these cases depends on whistleblowers because the money is cash. So kailangan ng whistleblower. Other than that, it's difficult to connect unjustly or without due process. You cannot connect without due process. You cannot say that you presume that this man is there. So we have been evaluating all of this.
Pero yun po ba yung path na or yung direction na titignan natin posibleng may need po yan?
Everything is possible because this is a crime, no? And a criminal has many ways to commit a crime. But you have to understand the meaning of the word mastermind. He is a mastermind, he's a genius. So we're fighting against a syndicated genius of criminals. Thank you.
We'll accommodate one more question.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Sir, as of now, sir, sa Visayas po, Bagyong Tino, it's them. Tapos, marami na lang po tayo makitang flood. Sir, what is our assurance lang po na hindi lang tayo nakatutok dito sa Luzon area maging sa Visayas area na rin
Well, the investigation will be regardless of geographical area. Kahit saan pa nangyari yung krimen yan eh. We just have to be able to investigate it properly. And I think that the executive department has been moving and is equipped to deal with the flooding happening right now in the Visayas. And if you look at it, it's really this flood control. I don't know why it became a major program of the DPWH from 2016 then.
So, Ombudsman, because this was part of the flood control master plan for the 18 major river basins. Ang kinasasama ng loob ko, nandoon yung programang yan. If you look at the budget of DPWH just on flood control from 2016 to 2025, 1.7 trillion pesos ang nailagay sa flood control. Tanggalin, never mind the convergence and all other programs, just on flood control. And the flood control master plan for the 18 major rivers would have cost only 800 to 900 billion. Kalahati lang doon kung ginawa lang ng tama.
Last note na lang, no? Last note lang. Kasi, yung master plan is so important eh. Ang nangyari lang dito, nagkakainggitan siguro sa Kongreso. Gusto nila, pareho yung flood control nila, kahit bundok sila, tsaka yung flood control ng iba. Mali, di ba? Doesn't make sense. Pero, that probably was the equal treatment that they wanted within the House of Congress. And Senate ka, hindi ko alam ba't napapasok sila dyan. Kaya napapasok rin sila dyan, di ba? So, the criminal intent is there. Hihingi ka ba ng flood control kung bundok yung lugar mo? Hindi mo naman kailangan ng flood control, di ba? Pero nangyari, lahat parang unequal treatment. Nagkaroon sila ng allocation. That's the mystery behind all this. And even the party list people were given an allocation. And they have nothing to do with infrastructure. And in fact, their supposed calling or their supposed constituents are different. But why enter into flood control? Ito nga, it became a criminal, flood control became a criminal enterprise. Thank you.
Sir,